Hello, VC. Dave the Pickup Artist with you. And we've got another psychedelic snack. I got a cool package on my doorstep today. An album I've been looking for a while. But it seems like you can only find this one in Europe. And I don't like to have stuff shipped overseas, but first up we've got Colosseum Valentine Sweet. There's the sticker. As you can see, it's 180. This is a mint condition version. Now, the label, I don't know if I like these top loader sleeves or not, but the label is, now originally this band was on the Vertigo label, and they were one of the first ones to be on the Vertigo label. It's black vinyl. I don't want to take it out, but I like the cover. It's kind of, it's weird. The band is a kind of like prog psych. The Valentine Suite takes up side 2. Very cool. One of the most underrated drummers was John Heisman. He replaced Ginger Baker in the Graham Bond organization, and then he left and took another member of the Graham Bond organization with him and formed Colosseum. They had this is actually their second album, and it's a great album. It's kind of like Hawkwind meets Traffic. If Hawkwind got in a car accident with Traffic, that's kind of what this would be. But yeah, it's great. Great album. Next we've got The Child's Guide to Good and Evil by the West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band. That's a very cool cover. And check out the hype sticker. Yeah, these guys were an oddity, to say the least. First of all, the front cover, the artist of this painted nude, had a nude, a model that he used to paint, and this is actually her face. You know, he cut the nudity out and put a butterfly on there. I think it's very cool. And back photo. At this point, they were a 3-piece. Two brothers were in this band, and one of them kind of went crazy, so they went on as a 3-piece. This guy right here, Bob Markley, was like the leader of the band. He financed the band. He was the son of an oil baron who got a law degree and became a bit of an entrepreneur. And he'd actually throw parties, and he could actually afford to have groups like the Yardbirds perform at his parties. The guy was a horn dog, and what happened was, what he liked about the Yardbirds wasn't their talent; it was their ability to attract girls to their shows. So he formed this band, and I think his only motivation was to get girls. And but it's a great band. It's a great album. If you haven't, the first four albums I've heard, and they're all great. They're very weird, but yeah, if you can, there's a kind of an insert on here. I don't know what this is. It's some sort of track listing. I guess that might be the reel or something. But yeah, these this is the first album I got from these guys. I want to get at least get the first 4, because the first 4 are great. The rest of them I haven't heard. I haven't heard their last 2, but interesting stuff. I mean, it's definitely a. And apparently they needed an extra drummer, so they hired Hal Blaine from the Wrecking Crew to play drums on this album also. This guy was actually rich enough to hire the Wrecking Crew too. So yeah, check this out. It's a very good album. Oh, we've got a book report, a psychedelic book report. I finally picked up this one. Everybody's been showing this. I didn't want to get it because I figured I knew all the bands but I was wrong. There's a lot of bands that I had never heard before in here. We've got Auto Salvage. This was a band that opened for Frank Zappa and the Mothers, and they didn't have a name when they opened for them, but they had a song called Auto Salvage, and Frank suggested they make their name Auto Salvage. So yeah, cool band I never heard of. Let's see. Oh, another one I hadn't heard of. The David. These guys were so young that they couldn't even get into the clubs where their own show was. So they didn't have any shows. A lot of stuff in here, very cool. Another band I never heard of. The Beatles. The Beatles were a band from Liverpool, and they had one album called Sgt. Pepper's. They were a 4-piece, and yeah, they had the one album, Sgt. Pepper's. There were only 5,000 copies of it pressed. So if you got a copy of that album, consider yourself lucky. This is a great book. Pick this up if you want to, find out about psychedelia. Next, we've got a soundtrack, Wild in the Streets. This is actually an LSD movie. Let's see, this guy, I don't know what his name is, Christopher Jones. He plays Max Frost. Yeah, Max Frost. He's a kid, and he's kind of a teen idol, and he's also a scientist, and he makes LSD. He decides to get into politics. And at one point, he doses the Washington, D.C. water supply with LSD. And, this is the inside of it. What's cool about this album is it's got a young, where's he at? Yeah, young Richard Pryor in it. He's the drummer in Max Frost's band and co-conspirator. And yeah, it's kind of a cheesy movie. The soundtrack, though, is pretty good. We've got some psychedelia here from 13th Power is one of the bands on here. And my favorite track is the Psychedelic Snack by the Senators. Very cool. And yeah, there are some trippy LSD scenes in this movie too. It's kind of cheesy. I don't know. It's, it's a curio of the 60s. And finally, we've got Spirit, 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. This is probably their best album. It's one of my favorites. Those weird photos. Yeah, this band was great. Randy California was friends with Jimi Hendrix in the mid 60s before they were, they went on to stardom. And they hooked up and they were friends for a while till Jimmy died. Randy California, great guitar player. I actually got to see Spirit in the 90s in a small bar. They played in a small bar. Great show. They still had Randy, of course, and Cass, who was the drummer of the band, and he was also Randy California's father-in-law. We lost Randy California and his son were swimming, and they had riptide or something, and Randy California went to save his son, who was drowning, and he did save his son, but he drowned, unfortunately. I think that was in 2000 or something. But yeah, he was a great guitar player, and yeah, this is a great band too. This has got Mr. Skin on it, and Nature's Way. Nature's Way was, I don't know if it was a single or not, but it's also a good album. And yeah, and that's about all I've got. I hope everybody has a great week, and we'll see you again real soon.